I bring you the best 3-4-2-1 that picked up a 93% win ratio in FM24. It also won the quadruple, so it's an absolute beast of a tactic, and it works with any standard of team, as you're going to see in the results as well today. If you do enjoy the tactics on this channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and keep the comments coming about any managers you want to see, or any formations, any challenges, any rebuild. Keep the comments coming, but let's get into the testing. First up is going to be Real Madrid, obviously over in the Spanish division, where we had a fantastic season, picking up not 1, not 2, not 3, but a perfect 4 out of 4 possible trophies from that season. Being the Champions League against PSG, a very tough team to beat, the Spanish First Division against everyone, where we actually nearly went invincible in that league, we'll talk about that very shortly, the Spanish Cup against Barcelona, and also the Spanish Super Cup also against Barcelona. But this season was really impressive, guys, especially with playing a 3 at the back, where usually it doesn't happen too often in the Spanish division. To win 35 out of a potential 38, drawing 2, and the only loss coming in against a 1-0 defeat away against rivals Atletico Madrid, probably a very scrappy game, I would imagine. It's absolutely sensational. It's going to be Vinicius Jr. coming in with 36 goals, Arda Güler picking up a 7.46 highest average rating, Ferland Mendy and Arda Güler joint with the assists coming in with 21, while it is going to be Lunin picking up a 95% best pass completion. In terms of the actual team stats, though, we are going to be looking at 105 goals scored, while only 12 goals are going to be conceded. And if we just feast our eyes at a second at this data hub as well, we are going to be looking at 2.76 goals per game, which is absolutely incredible. Conceded per game at only 0.32, getting on towards 20 shots in the game at 19.76, and 89.64% pass completion, and attack win ratio of a very consistent 76.11. But of course, to go back into these team stats, we are going to have a very quick look right now, and we can see we are going to feature in almost all of them. Most points per game at 2.82, the most goals at 105, the most shots at 751, of course showing how good we really are. The fewest shots against, the very few shots faced against us at 171. Possession wise, considering it's not a possession based tactic, actually very happy with how this went, averaging about 57% of the ball, which is quite impressive considering we're not trying to play that sort of possession-based football. Most dribbles being made at 709, the fewest goals conceded at 12, and of course the most clean sheets coming in at a very impressive 26. Now, of course, we are going to see where the goals come from, and it is going to do that by going to this page and going to the goals. So let's go over and do that right now. We are going to get a very good indicator of who's going to be scoring the goals. It's going to be Vinicius Jr., as we saw, with 36, Brahim Diaz with 23, Arda Güler enjoying a fantastic season with 22 goals, 16 for Rodrigo, Jude Bellingham coming in with 15. We've also got 12 for Camavinga, Rudiger with 9, 7 for Alaba, Mendy with 5, and the assists again are really impressive. 21 for Güler, 21 for Mendy, joint top assists right there, 21 each by the way, really impressive there. 17 for Bellingham, 15 for Carvajal, 14 for Camavinga, Diaz with 11, so a lot of players getting involved, and I know we have got some really good players in this team. I'm not taking anything away from the players, but it's still a really good sign of a tactic when you've got so many players getting involved with the assists and also the goal scoring outlet. This has been a fantastic season. On to the next. Up next is going to be Napoli, obviously over in Italy, a very competitive league. In my opinion, probably the hardest league on this game, as in there's like 3 or 4 teams, possibly even 5, that I have seen win this quite convincingly in tactic testing. We, however, had a fantastic season. We won the Serie A, the Italian Cup, and the Italian Super Cup. The Champions League results are a little bit unfair because obviously we knocked ourselves out with that Madrid team, so possibly could have even got to the final. Would we have won it? Nobody knows, but potentially. 103 goals scored, only 25 conceded. Big Victor, 53 goals, the highest assister picking up 23 as well, so it's quite good to see we've got one standout assister as well. We've got Galini coming in with a best pass completion with 95%, which is really impressive to see, and we did lose one more game that we did obviously with Real Madrid. The 2 losses are actually going to be against Brazania and Atalanta. The Atalanta game was actually quite embarrassing. But other than that, looking at the span of a whole season, we were actually really impressive. We won 31 out of a potential 38, which in my opinion is really good and just shows how good this tactic is, especially so far in Spain and in the Italian division. Team stat wise, we are going to feature in a few of them. These top four were going to dominate most points per game, the most goals quite convincingly over a very strong Inter Milan side. 200 bang on fewer shots against and 662 shots for. Possession-wise, we're not actually going to be in there. So this again shows how different this tactic will work from league to league. Obviously, in this division, we weren't really up there with the favourites. In Spain, we were. So that does give you a rough indicator on what you can expect. Fewest conceded, we're going to be joint first. I'd rather say that than second. Joint first with Atalanta. So not too bad there at all. Data hub wise, we are going to go and have a quick look right now. That is going to be 2.71 goals per game, 0.66 when it comes to the goals conceded, over 17 shots per game, an exact 17.42, a 74.35% pass completion, and an 89.55 pass completion. Incredible. Next is going to be 13th place predicted, Hertha Berlin, obviously in the Bundesliga 2, one of my favourite leagues to play in a personal save to build up to that main Bundesliga division, and we actually come out on top winning the second tier of Bundesliga football, meaning we're in the big time now. We're in the main Bundesliga division where Hertha Berlin belong. 82 goals scored and only 19 conceded. It's going to be Florian Niederlechner, I believe is how you say that. I do apologise if I butchered any of that, with 24 goals and also picking up a 7.94 highest average rating, 12 assists from the top assister, and also Gersbeck picking up a 96% pass completion. Again, very similar to the amount of games being lost, as you're noticing. It's going up, if anything. Only 3 losses though, I say that like it's a real bad thing. Only 3 losses out of a potential 34. We obviously won 24 of the games and then drew the other 7, so still a very, very impressive season, and the team stats are going to back us up majorly over in Germany. Most points per game at 2.32, the most goals at 82, quite a fair few more than second place Hanover. Most shots for at 530, nearly an extra 130 compared to Hansa Rostock. Fewest shots against at 207, that is quite a gap between us and obviously second place. Possession wise, we are going to feature in the sort of top 8, coming in at 6th place with 55% of the ball. Most dribbles being made at 537, very close to second place there, only completing 3 more. Fewest conceded coming in with 19, and also the most clean sheets. We're going to take that accolade as well. Why not? Going over to the data hub though, if it will let me click on it, which it eventually does, 2.41 goals per game, and conceded at only 0.56, so very, very good when it comes to the defensive side of the game, playing in a division like this. Shots per game, very good as well, 15.59. The tackle win ratio, maybe, speaking of the whole, all of the teams, that could be a little bit higher, but again, we have got to get tackle harder in on some of these players. I'm expecting them to get booked here and there, but the pass completion remains pretty consistent, 89.49. So for a 3 at the back system, I'm buzzing with it. And lastly, and definitely the most challenging one, that is going to be Blackpool, a team predicted to finish 6th or 7th in Sky Bet League 1. Necessarily haven't got the best players. I'm sorry to any Blackpool fans, but we have come out and actually won Sky Bet League 1 and got away back up to the Championship. So we're going to take that. Also get into the semi-final of the Bristol Street Motors Trophy. Not the best display in the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup, but 2 Premier League teams there, which, you know, at the end of the day, we're not going to expect to beat them with a team like Blackpool. No offence again. 100 goals scored, which is really, really impressive, and only 34 goals conceded. It's going to be Sonny Carey picking up 21 goals, Oliver Casey coming in with a 7.42. When it comes to the highest average rating, Jordan Gabriel with 23 assists, and James Husband picking up a 93% pass completion. Going over to them team stats, it's going to be a bit of a mixture. We are going to feature in, I believe, 6 of them being the most clean sheets, the fewest conceded at 34, 10 less than Bolton, most dribbles being made at 768. One thing you'll learn about in this tactic is we are not afraid to try and have a little bit of individual quality and run at the opposition. Possession-wise, we're actually going to be in 2nd place, so again, showing how important the league factors in to getting that possession stat in, with 59% of the ball, which is not bad for a 3 at the back system. The fewest shots against at 299, the most shots getting on for 850, and also the most points per game, just over 2 at 2.15, but it's clearly enough to win the league, so we're not going to complain. Data hub though for Blackpool, again, is very, very impressive, scoring way over 2 goals a game, conceded way under a goal a game as well, so very defensively solid, and scoring a good amount of goals, nearly a 78% tackle win ratio as well, and 89.52% pass completion, which isn't always easy with this standard of players, and over 18 shots a game. there's not really too much to fault. Italian Cup final, a 4-1 win, and I had a lot of fun playing this game. I absolutely love playing with Napoli, especially when you got Big Victor on your team, who actually scored 4 goals in this game. Just an okay final. You everyday occurrence for Big Victor himself. They do go and get a goal here, though, to be fair to him, to tie it up, which in hindsight made the final look quite interesting, because after that, we sort of just dominated. I mean, 3 goals go in our favour. Great play there through the middle, going back to the back, out to the left-hand side, ball in the middle. A little bit lucky. I don't know what actually happened for that ball to get through, but we've got to take it. A set piece coming into the box. Just a great leap from Asim Hemmet again. We're not going to complain. And one more goal from another set piece. A ball in the box. Nothing can stop him. But I'm going to make a case for him being the best striker in the game, because this is another game he absolutely dominated himself. I mean, don't get me wrong, he was getting penalties fed to him, etc, etc, but at the end of the day, that's a striker's job, and he does it very, very well. I mean, Zielinski as well, another player who is so good at what he does, driving forward, getting into dangerous spaces, and there, even getting a cheeky goal for himself. Di Lorenzo down the right-hand side, a great ball over the top into Zielinski again, and he's unselfish. He squares it to his best mate. It's an easy goal, an easy tap-in. We've got to take it any day of the week. The left-hand side now, ball in the box into Di Lorenzo. I was not expecting that to go in at all. Zielinski backstick again. And this is what I'm going to say, guys, as well. You need to be getting the set pieces, because we do score a fair amount of goals through them. And I love to show you guys them set pieces, because they are so deadly. And if we're not scoring from set pieces, we're doing that. We're scoring goals from every angle of the field. It's what this tactic does. Honestly, by far, one of my most favoured tactics, if I'm going to play a 3 at the back, is this style of a 3 at the back, because it's so direct, so attacking, and gets tons of goals, as you're seeing here. A great direct approach, and an even better finish. But now over to your favourite part of the video, the tactical breakdown. If you are enjoying, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It helps the video get found in the algorithm and attracts more people to this channel. That would be highly appreciated. And I want to quickly thank all of the names coming down the screen right now. These are going to be getting on for 1,700 Patreon members that have joined and gained over 10 perks. You get early tactic release, you get priority in the rebuild and the tactic requests, you get one-on-one tactical help, you get access to all 3 of the files on the screen right now. You also are going to get access to the exclusive Patreon giveaway, which at the moment is going to be a football shirt giveaway, is in the team you support, and also a copy of FM24 to play with them on. So definitely go over and check it in the description below. 100% worth it, and trust me, you will not regret it. But let's go over and talk about the best 3-4-2-1. So to get things going, to get things kicked off, we are going to go with a goalkeeper, who is going to be a super keeper, simply on the default instructions. A ball-playing defender on the right is going to come in simply on tackle harder. And what we're going to do is, to make it nice and simple, is we are simply going to copy and paste that 3 times. 3 ball playing defenders on defend on tackle harder. Now, if you are playing in a very low down division, your players have got very poor concentration, decision making, you're getting a lot of red cards, a lot of yellow cards. Obviously, look to take tackle harder off, but with any sort of average to very good centre back, obviously, this is honestly something I've noticed very recently. Tackle harder seems to be broken. Having it on your players, they seem to be so more in the game, so much more aggressive, putting in challenges. Usually in FM, you know, your striker will be going through, your defender will be like that, just won't do anything. With tackle harder on, he will actually put in a challenge, so I really like having it on when I can do so. Fullbacks have gone quite basic, but we've gone with complete wing-backs on support on tackle harder, on the left-hand side and the right-hand side. Again, there's only a need for one instruction, because they're natural instructions anyway. It means they're going to get further forwards, they've got to stay wider, and they're naturally going to roam about the field anyway, so they don't need any more instructions to really interfere with what they're already going to be doing. In the middle, we're going to go with a double volante. That is going to be a segundo volante, should I say, on support on tackle harder on the right-hand side, and on the left-hand side, nice and simple, exactly the same. Sometimes, tactics, you don't need to overcomplicate the process, and in a system like this, that can easily be done. So hence why we have not done that by having so many players getting further forwards. On these volantes, I could have them on get further forwards, move into the channels, I could do that. But as a default tactic goes, one which I know you're going to download and try and plug and play, this is what you want to be doing, because it's not too over the top and it will still get the job done. The shadow striker on the right is going to simply be on attack, so that might mean he's going to be tackling harder, dribbling more, taking more risks, getting further forwards and moving into channels. And on the left hand side, that is also going to be exactly the same. And the cherry on the top, the advanced forward on attack, simply on the default. So the team instructions, all based off a tiki-taka style on the attacking mentality. And we're actually going to switch things up. You probably weren't expecting it, but we did play with a fairly wide attacking width, just to clarify that. We're going to pass the ball into space so we can really take advantage of those good runs being made in behind. Of course, we're going to overlap left and overlap right to really get the fullbacks involved. We're going to focus to play down the right and the left-hand side as well. Despite being quite a narrow tactic, obviously them shadow strikers do naturally drift out wide as well, alongside of them fullbacks. The directness is going to be set to shorter, the tempo is going to be maxed out to higher, and of course, it is going to be quite a counter-attacking tactic, so naturally that means one thing, right? Run at defence is also going to be selected. Transition, a nice simple 4 instructions. Distribute to the centre-backs because obviously we have got 3. Why on earth wouldn't you? And we're going to take short goal kicks. We're going to counter. That is the play style. And of course, a bit of counter-pressing football. Out of possession, a very attacking style of football, let me tell you that. Or soccer for my American viewers. We're going to go with a much higher defensive line, a high press line of engagement. We're going to max out that trigger press. We're going to prevent short goalkeeper distribution. And of course, we're going to step up more. Now, I will say, despite it being such an aggressive, intense tactic, the 3 golden rules, I will keep banging on about it. Rotation, rest, and training. They're all you need to do, and you can play this way of football completely fine. That's all you need to do, and you can manage this high-intensity, pressing style of football, which is clearly the best way to play Football Manager, to be blunt. That is how you get results. So trust me, give this a whirl. Let me know in the comments how it treats you as well. I thought I'd quickly show you this absolute dismantling in the Champions League final against PSG with this Real Madrid team. Obviously, you saw the first goal there. Wasn't exactly great, and what is even not as great for PSG is the fact they equalise. I'll let this run. They equalise with a very scrappy goal in a 62nd minute to tie it up 1-1. What on earth happened in their heads to let another 5 goals go in by us? I mean, honestly, an absolute collapse from this Madrid team, PSG team, sorry. A ball through there into Brahim Diaz, inside into Jude Bellingham. That was literally a minute after they scored, and I think after this, they lost their heads, to be honest with you. Bellingham out wide into Ferland Mendy, a great option out wide into Arda Güler. Donnarumma doing a classic Donnarumma, not turning up to the big games. Kimpembe had a stinker this game as well. Hakimi tries to play it to Soler, great bit of pressing into Vinicius. Donnarumma's the biggest fraud going. I will say that very, very openly. He is absolutely abysmal. Do not sign him. Brahim Diaz through into Arda Güler, and again, Donnarumma's all over the gaff. It was a very good finish, don't get me wrong, but Donnarumma's on the floor, not even in the right position. Shocking from him. Hakimi again back into Kimpembe, who needs to just get off the field at this point. Rodrigo goes through. Donnarumma rashly comes out. We got gifted a final, I'll be real. But to the attacking variant, the perfect tactic to use if you are chasing a game, you're a goal down, or maybe you're sort of tied on aggregate, something like that. Obviously, you can get these on the Patreon in one simple download, but those that do stick around and watch the video, that means the absolute world to me too. And yeah, hopefully you gain some stuff from these as well, because I personally take all 3 variants into any save I play with, because I like having them loaded in. You can simply change your play style in one click. Very convenient, very fast, very easy. The goalkeeper is going to remain the same, as are the back 3. The complete wing backs are going to change quite significantly. Exactly the same though on the left and the right hand side. Complete wing back on attack, on cross more often, run wide and also tackle harder. 2 volantes are going to come in on the right hand side, is going to be move into channels and also tackle harder. And on the left is not going to have move into channels. We didn't want both of them moving into the channels, only one, and I opted to have personally on the right hand side because it was the best option for this Napoli team. The shadow striker is going to be on roam from position on the right hand side and exactly the same on the left, alongside of that usual tackle harder instruction, and the advanced forward is simply going to remain untouched. Team instruction wise, it's going to remain exactly the same in terms of tiki-taka and the attacking mentality. The only change for in possession is going to be more expressive, and that is simply because there's not much more we can really add. In transition, the same story is going to apply. Of course, we're after a goal, we're trying to chase a game, distribute quickly has to be on. Out of possession, there are going to be, it's quite a big change because it does change how the tactic sort of plays. That is going to be get stuck in, a very, very aggressive way of playing football. Obviously, this is really going to have your players lunging into tackles, but if you are trying to chase a game, you need the ball, don't you? So you got to put in challenges. You got to take risks, guys. Simple as that. Defensive variant, obviously to defend a game out, or if you're playing as a Luton Town and you're trying to get results, this is what you're going to want. Now, this is very, very different, to be honest with you. These remain exactly the same on the screen. The wing back on the right is going to be on defend exactly the same as on the left, and that is because I didn't want the complete wing back anymore, because I didn't want them going further forwards. I want them to be very defensive-minded wing-backs, and that's exactly what we've got. Yes, they're going to be on tackle harder, and they're simply going to be on the default for the left and also the right-hand side. A DM comes in to really shape up that midfield on support, on tackle harder. Next to a Volante, so still sort of a progressive midfield option, but not as attacking by any means of the imagination. Going up the field, an attacking midfield player on the left, simply on support, and we have kept one shallow striker on the right-hand side where the DM is, so obviously you can see on the left-hand side, we've got more of a progressive player deeper, and on the right-hand side, we've got a less progressive deeper, but more progressive as the sort of team goes up the field. And to finish it off, the advanced forward simply on attack. Obviously, the team instructions for this defensive variant, tiki-taka is going to remain, but a positive mentality. The width is now going to go to fairly wide, a bit more of a narrow system. We're still going to pass into space. We're still going to focus to play down the left and the right. These are going to be the changes though. So the tempo is going to get lowered by 1. We're going to time waste frequently. Now this is obviously if you're trying to seal out a game, not if you're going into a game with this. So obviously that comes down to your personal circumstance. And we're still going to have run at defence on because that's the DNA of the team. Transition is going to be very similar to the default. The only change is going to be we're going to play to anyone across the back line now, and we're going to slow the pace down. The reason why we're going to play to anyone across the back line is because then wing backs now are going to be fairly deep, so quite a safe passing option. Lastly, out of possession, by far one of the most changed areas. The standard lines make it a bit more consistent and a bit more basic, if you so will. Still the high press line of engagement more often, so knock that down one as well with a trigger press, and of course prevent short goalkeeper distribution, because it honestly helps, guys. You get a lot of mistakes from goalkeepers this year, so having this on is a real key instruction. But it's going to give you guys 3 variants of the best 3-4-2-1. Now obviously through the year, by the way, that's the best, that is my personal best that I have made. Throughout the year, this is going to be a V2, a V3, as I tweak this and make it better and better and better. But hopefully you guys have enjoyed today's video. If you have, be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel. It helps the video out massively, and I'll see you in the next one. Enjoy the rest of your day. And if you guys did enjoy today's video, here are going to be a couple more videos I'm sure you're going to love. Down here, you're going to see my previous video, and here is going to be a video I personally recommend for you guys to check out. Trust me, you're going to love it.